Want to make a fairly quick video on how to install the Tommy 3 selector kit in a Alamo 15 by Graves. This will also apply, same principles apply to the rare breed FRT 15 with the Tommy kit 3 selector. The only thing you don't need to do on the rare breed is remove the locking bar. This obviously has a roller locker. We're gonna have to remove that on the Graves. On the rare breeds, you don't. Rest of the steps are still apply. All you'll need for the Graves is a punch, and that's to punch this out, and something to push out the pins that are bigger. I just use the Allen key so it doesn't go through. And that's really all you need. So we'll get started. This pin needs to go from left to right, and then install this the same way from right to left. So we'll go ahead and punch that out. And should not take 1,000,000 pounds of force there. And it comes right out. And then we'll just poke it out the rest of the way. The roller locker comes in one assembly. I'm just going to put that to the side with your pin. This also has a spring in there. You can remove it if you want. I do, just so I don't lose it. We're gonna put that right next to all the other stuff. Next, we're gonna take out the pins. So I release the hammer, makes it a lot easier. And we're just gonna push from left to right. Now this front pin can be a little stubborn just because the back of the trigger is pushing against it. So I like to push up on the back of the trigger. And you might have to play around with it, but it should come out after that. And if you have lube on this, it'll obviously come out a lot easier. But anyways, hammer comes out. Put the pin to the side, and then you also have your hammer spring. Easy peasy. So then we're gonna do the same with the bottom pin, and this one comes right up. Put all that to the side. And you have your casing. Oh, one thing to note is you have a spring at the bottom too. And this spring is the same size as the locking bar spring. So I guess you have a backup because the Tommy kit actually comes with that spring, a replacement spring to go under the trigger. So you have your housing all disassembled, and we're ready to install the Tommy kit. So this pin that goes through here actually just makes it easier to line up the pin to install this. And what I would suggest is you put grease between these two pieces. So I'll take this off real quick. I would put grease in here and in here, because when you have it in the third mode, it actually pushes this piece down, which is the disconnector, and the trigger will actually ride and rub on there. You can actually see where it rides and rubs. So this little spring back. There we go, it's ready to install. So take your housing and the trigger, and that should just fit right in there. Easy peasy. We're gonna take our pin, and we're just gonna push it right through. Easy. Should not take a lot of force. Then we're going to take the spring that comes in the kit, and we're going to put it right at the front of that trigger. We're also going to simultaneously just make sure that that trigger is all the way back, so this part is up. And you can take whatever you'd like. I just like a punch, and we're going to try to decompress or compress. We're going to try to compress that spring and slide it under the front part of the trigger, and you can use your finger right there and actually help guide it in there. And then there's a little groove or there's a little groove or channel in there that it needs to seat into. Hopefully you can see that, and it'll snap right in. And it's in there. Cool. So then we're going to take our hammer and our hammer spring. So what I like to do on this one is put the hammer spring in and actually take our pin from the backside and push it through. Push it through enough where it's containing the hammer spring. That way we can come in with our hammer and we can slide it in there. And here's a pro tip. If you put the pin down on the table and you actually pull up on the back of the trigger housing and then you line it up, it goes through like pie. Easy like pie, something like pie. And then you can function check from there. Then the last step we need to do is take our roller locker. Well, we need to take our spring and put it right in there. In there. Then we're going to take our roller locker and we're going to put our spring in. Remember, we want to go right. We're going to go right to left on this. We're going to take our spring or our pin and we're going to put it in there. And this will take some playing to try to find out where this, to line that up. And it should just fall right in. And then the rest of the way, you just want to tap it in. And then you just want to make sure it's even on both sides, of course. And you can play around with that. And then we're just going to function check it from there. So you obviously want to make sure that when you push up on the trigger, that it doesn't release the hammer until this locking piece is pushed down. And that's it. Really easy. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Yeah, catch you on the next one.